Hey guys, so a little introduction before we get into the video. On my link to the live stream will be down in the description below, decided to take some time to understand the FNAF lore. And I lost my brain along the way. I think I lost some brain cells too. So with the help of my chat and the help of this video, I tried to understand the lore behind FNAF, which if you guys don't know what that is, that's Five Nights at Freddy's. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you hit subscribe, hit that like button, turn on post notifications so you know when I post videos. I'm going to start trying to post more often. And yeah, let's get to the video. Alright, but until then, I want to try to figure this out because I have never truly understood the Five Nights at Freddy's lore. There's a whole lore behind Five Nights at Freddy's. So I want to see if I can try to figure it out from this video.
Five Nights at Freddy's is a game series which has a deeper, well-hidden story about a man, his family, and the people he involved in his life. In this video, I present to you my take on that story. Don't forget to quickly scroll down, subscribe, turn on notifications, like the video, scroll back up, and please enjoy the combination of what I put my heart, soul, and time into for the past few months.
So this will more than likely be a YouTube video. So say hi, YouTube, for the reaction channel. Hi, YouTube.
William Afton, married, a father of 3 children, Elizabeth,
Okay.
Evan, and Michael.
Okay.
And a business with his good friend Henry Emily, married, a father of 2, Charlotte and Sammy. Their business name was decided to be Fazbear Entertainment, and together they opened up a small restaurant called Fazbear's Family Diner, a regular diner filled with dining and party rooms. The diner's main purpose was for children's birthday parties, as they knew that's the way to profit.
Right.
It might as well have been a pizzeria though, as their menu was mostly filled with a variety of pizzas and cakes for all customers to enjoy.
Got it.
But, unlike any other restaurant, this was run by 2 mechanical geniuses, probably the smartest in the world, who together agreed on an idea so genius it would have to convince more kids and adults to have their birthdays and to dine generally at this location.
Gotcha.
An idea that would drive their revenue through the roof, and unknowingly to them, and an idea that would shape the future of both their lives forever. The idea was put into motion almost instantly. Their creative minds wouldn't allow for hesitation at the time. William and Henry created 2 special suits that they could wear and serve customers in, but the suits could also pass as animatronics to perform for customers on stage. These 2 spring-lock suits would end up becoming the main attraction of the diner.
Right.
The 2 suits would run the names Fredbear and
Spring Bunny. Fredbear and Spring Bunny, gotcha.
The 2 were receiving money from all directions. Parents loved the place. They could just chill back and eat some pizza while their children run around and admired the animatronics. Children flocked to the diner daily to see the Springlock animatronics. If someone wanted a birthday party, this would be where they went. Due to the success of Fredbear's, a sister location opened up called Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, with Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy as the main stars.
Gotcha.
They became really popular really quickly, so they ended up selling masks and merch to increase their revenue. But business doesn't change a man's mentality. William Afton may have been married, a father of 3 children, and thanks to Fredbear's, a wealthy man. But however his life was, he wasn't a good man. Abusive, destructive, and cruel. The one reason he is where he is today is because he is smart and a strategist. The money did nothing but grow his toxic and dangerous personality. He ripped a Spring Bunny, and then out to his pizzeria he helped create. And upon scanning the crowd, he put on the Springlock animatronic suit with a stable plan for an unstable man. Tonight, 5 children would have a birthday party they would never forget and never let go. 5 children were having a grand time at a birthday party in the pizzeria until randomly the yellow Spring Bunny came over to them, and after playing with their minds and corrupting their thoughts, the Springlock animatronic successfully lured them into the back room of the pizzeria. Unknowingly to these children, their party would end prematurely, as upon being alone with the 5 children, William pulled something from behind his back. The children were ready for a surprise he told them he had, the surprise they wanted, and the surprise they got. The knife William pulled out from behind his back went through the children's bodies. He went on a murdering spree, murdering all of them in a short amount of time. William knew exactly what he had done. The psycho gained satisfaction.
Oh yeah. Thank you for reminding me of that. Also, YouTube, he's fine. The kids are fine. Don't get me copyright strike. If that's, I don't know.
From this event, from the torment he had just given. But the cops would arrive soon. Their parents would notice their children missing. He had to do something to cover his tracks. But how? While thinking of options, he stared at Fredbear and the 4 main animatronic suits him and Henry created with endoskeletons to be fully automatic, as manually wearing the suits and serving customers was becoming too much, as they had to cook, take calls, request, and it was all getting too much for the 2 of them. So that's why they made the endoskeletons in the first place. The animatronics look like animals, with a brown bear, blue bunny, yellow chicken, and red fox.
Right.
But to William's luck, the suits were open and empty. William grinned, knowing exactly where he would hide the evidence of this murderous event, which causes Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria to close down. Police stormed the building after several calls, not knowing their children.
Why did he put the FBI opened up? That's too funny.
Whereabouts, and the staff having no clue either. Police were scavenging, searching all around the building, in all the rooms of the diner, asking everyone what they knew, trying to...
Wait, what did I say? What did I say?
All around the building, in all...
The first Freddy's is not in a FNAF game. This is just an example. Wait! Huh? Well, then why put it in the story? What? That makes no sense.
All the rooms of the diner, asking everyone what they knew, trying to piece together anything they could, until they couldn't find the children's bodies anywhere, and they quickly found out no one knew anything. The children, who were just having the best party of their lives, vanished out of thin air from the diner. William became a major suspect, but without any bodies nor proof, they couldn't charge him. This quickly became a missing children's incident. Exhilaration. Missing children's incident. Satisfaction. Exhilaration. That's what William felt after the murder spree and getting away with it. His mind...
The first Freddy's was just a kid's place, like Chuck E. Cheese. Well, then why put it in the story, though?
Ran wild with ideas. What if he made suits specifically to contain people inside of them? Not springlock suits like him and Henry used. The animatronic suits, but with enough space to fit humans into them. They couldn't contain adults because they might be too tall, too big. There would be way too much individuality between adults. With children, most of them would be the same height, same size. A little bit bigger wouldn't be too much of a problem since they would still be rather small. William already killed 5 children and knew exactly how to lure them out, so he knew where to go next. With the goal of capturing children in mind, he made a new animatronic, Circus Baby. A blue-eyed, red-haired...
I know her!
...with an inbuilt skill to grab, pull, and then trap children inside of itself.
So I know, like, a little bit of the storyline. I know about Circus Baby. They included it for background to help give the story more life. Okay, got you. I know about Circus Baby. And I know about the Bite of 83. That's what they call it.
Him adds that
she can dance, she can sing. She's equipped with a built-in helium tank for inflating balloons right at her fingertips. She can take song requests. She can even dispense ice cream.
With the perfect creation and a long talk with Henry, William opened up a small restaurant on the side under his personal business name, Afton Robotics, which would sell the same food and drink as Fredbear's, but with the addition of ice cream. And with this, Circus Baby's Pizza World opens. William programmed Circus Baby so she would not kill or trap in front of crowds, nor with adults, but only in a one-on-one situation with a child. And William knew that the animatronic had to contain some sort of artificial consciousness. So how would he get that? William's wife and children would occasionally visit the two.
Wait, what? There was a note at the bottom.
William's wife.
I know that's not William's wife on the left, by the way. Was just the only example I could think of. Okay.
Children would occasionally visit the two locations, admiring William and Henry's work. Animatronics were unique, creative, and unheard of in this day and age. Evan liked to watch William work on the animatronics, and would regularly watch William work on the 4 animal suits, which Evan actually got early access to plush copies of. Elizabeth Afton, though, she desperately wanted to see Circus Baby every time she visited. It looked like her, and it was the first girly animatronic that had been ever made, with the others being Fredbear and Spring Bonnie, which was still working at Fredbear's Family Diner.
Wait, I thought Fredbear's Family Diner shut down because of the freaking 5 missing kids. What is it doing again?
He said no to Elizabeth. He knew deep down that Circus Baby would recognize his daughter as a child and would quite possibly kill her. Elizabeth kept asking,
Daddy, why won't you let me play with her? Daddy, you let the other children go see her. Why won't you let me go? Daddy, just once let me go play with her. She's so pretty and shiny.
That's not creepy at all.
Make her just for me? Daddy, she can make balloons. Have you seen her make balloons? Daddy, let me go to her.
no was always the answer. William took no risk. His own daughter dying to his creation was not an option on the table. So he always took Elizabeth away from the animatronic and distanced her from the clutches of Circus Baby.
Fair.
But one night, while William was busy with a party of people coming into the restaurant, Elizabeth snuck away from William and went to finally see Circus Baby. Stubbornness, ignorance, and arrogance. 3 words which would perfectly describe Elizabeth's actions as she headed towards the animatronic. Circus Baby watched this little girl run with excitement and started to dispense ice cream, a luring tactic, something she had never done before.
She pulled that out of her ass. I wouldn't eat that ice cream.
Watching. Don't tell Daddy that I'm here. I wanted to watch your show too. I don't know why you were there. You're wonderful. Where did the other children go?
Elizabeth's final words, a question, a moment of realization.
Magic pocket.
Elizabeth died as a direct result of William's actions. She was inside Circus Baby's suit, her screams covered by the children running back into the room with excitement. William came with his party of children and wondered where his own went. He looked around and remembered Elizabeth's words.
Oh, Daddy, let me go to her. Didn't you make her just for me?
He then looked to Circus Baby
Oh,
and
no.
coldly stared back.
Oh my.
This was a giant mistake. William couldn't comprehend this. This wasn't meant to happen. She should have listened. No, he should have made it happen. No, she shouldn't have been so stubborn. No, yes, no. William couldn't put together a single coherent thought in his mind. A psycho losing a loved one is not going to go well. He shut the restaurant instantly, and for a whole night he looked into Circus Baby's lit green eyes. If anyone can retell this story and these events the best, it's Circus Baby herself.
I was in a small room with balloons and a few tables. No one sat at the tables, though, but children would run in and out. I would always count the children. I'm not sure why. I was always acutely aware of how many there were in the room with me. I can do something special. Did you know that? I can make ice cream. Although I only did it once. There were 4, then 3, then 2, then 1. Something happened when there was 1. A little girl, standing by herself. I was no longer myself, and I stopped singing. My stomach opened, and there was ice cream. I couldn't move, at least, not until she stepped closer. There was screaming for a moment, but only for a moment. Then other children rushed in again, but they couldn't hear her over the sounds of their own excitement. I still hear her sometimes. Why did that happen?
William was why that
Yeah, Afton created monsters. I can tell.
happened. William just his fallen daughter, now lost to his own creation. Immediately, he tells Evan and Michael to no longer visit any animatronics that are offline or on, especially
Matt Pat did a great series on it. Is that who made the games?
not alone. There was no chance he would let another child of his be lost to any one of his creations. William knew Michael was old enough that the animatronics wouldn't kill him, although he still warned him away. But William must have raised his children wrong, as Evan becomes stubborn and decides to go to Fredbear's family diner either way, obviously without his father's permission.
Oh.
But unknowingly to Evan, William knew about this. He's the
I know you don't know Matt Pat. I know a YouTuber you don't. I don't know a lot of YouTubers because I don't watch a lot of YouTubers.
owner of the restaurant Evan was sneaking off to. Of course he would know. So knowing that stubbornness, ignorance, and arrogance caused Elizabeth's death, and seeing Evan follow in her footsteps, William crafted a plan that would hopefully stop Evan from visiting the restaurant for good. One midnight, Evan awoke to the sound of someone walking down his bedroom halls. Evan
Game
hopped out
theory,
of bed
food
and
theory.
ran towards his door, opening it
Oh,
slightly.
you know what?
He saw a nightmarish version of the animatronic.
I think I've seen one snippet of a video of his. Okay, wait, back up, what?
He ran towards his door, opening it slightly, and he saw a nightmarish version of the animatronics he watched William build. Evan slammed the door shut, and after hearing more footsteps, he reopened the door and the animatronic was gone, but then he heard rattling coming from his bed. William monitored Evan in an underground location he was yet to open to the public or anyone.
Hey, yo! Okay, first of all, I know that's the game. What number is that? That's number 4? Or something like that? Where the kid's in his bedroom and you gotta, watch the bedroom and all that stuff.
Made sound illusion discs, which employ a high-pitched frequency just outside of the normal range of a human hearing. This frequency is used to overload the human brain, changing the listener's perception of whatever the emitter wants them to see. He used this to create illusions of animatronics that he knew Evan had seen, to make sure Evan never went back to Fredbear's. William knew Evan would think these were nightmares that he could strangely remember, but William made sure all of it actually happens to Evan when he's awake, so he remembers them more quickly to keep the fear level raised. He would make sure the illusions disappear at 6 AM each night, a time which Evan would begin to treasure. During the day, Evan would go to Fredbear's slightly more scared each time. William's plan was working. Michael, Evan's older brother, unknowingly to himself, was actually helping William during all of this, continuously scaring Evan with a foxy mask.
Oh,
William saw
no.
this as an okay thing to do and allowed this to happen during the daytime, as it would help Evan be more afraid to go back to Fredbear's. William encouraged Michael to do this, and he would be monitoring what...
So this whole time, he was just trying to keep his family safe. On top of that, this whole time, he was trying to keep his family safe. He was trying to keep a business in line. This dude was just trying to live a normal life, but went psycho.
What Michael does through the eyes of a plush Fredbear. But Michael didn't do it for the same reasons as William. He did it because he was a bad brother. Michael organized Evan's birthday party to be at Fredbear's, and he told all the kids in town about it. After Evan talks to the kids, he goes inside his house to find William and talk to him about it. But Michael gets him first and scares him again with the foxy mask. Michael knew that he could get Evan inside the diner if he really wanted to, by just being himself, the bad brother. Michael would have to bully Evan inside the diner for his party, so he gave it a try the next day to make sure he could. And by the end of it, he ended up locking Evan inside the back room of the diner for a few minutes. After letting Evan out to run and cry back home, Michael knew what had to happen the next day for his party. Evan would be more scared than ever to go back after today, and maybe not even Michael could bully him into the diner. So, Michael thought for a long time, and planned his next moves as the night fell. Michael brought 3 friends along. If Michael himself couldn't bully Evan to the diner, maybe 3 more bullies just like him could. They did exactly that. They forced Evan into the diner for his party. Evan pleaded to them all, saying he wants to leave, but Michael only suggested Evan got closer to the 2 Springlock suits. He knew getting Evan face to face with the animatronic would scare Evan the most. So they all picked Evan up from the ground and carried him. Evan was shaking like crazy.
This is the bite of 83.
Pleading to them all that he didn't want to go, he didn't want to be there, he didn't want to meet them. But they kept walking closer and closer to Fredbear and Spring Bonnie until they were right in front of their stage. Michael suggested Evan wants to kiss Fredbear, so the 4 of them moved Evan off of their arms and they forced his head and half his body to be inside of Fredbear's mouth. For Michael, this was the best he could do to scare Evan, have him right inside the thing he feared the most. Evan was crying and shaking like he never had before, and Michael even felt some form of sympathy for him, and they watched it happen right in front of them, and they laughed. One thing that no one knew besides William and Henry about the springlock suits, which Evan was now trapped inside the mouth of, were that springlock failures could occur. These would happen when the locks that are holding the endoskeleton in the folded position to allow a human to be in the suit break. This causes the endoskeleton to spring into its usual position, and anyone caught inside the suit when this happens will be impaled and crushed. The second way these accidents can occur is when an employee fails to correctly wind the spring locks all the way up, causing them to burst on the person inside. William Henry knew about these, and always made sure to handle them correctly to avoid any fatal injuries to other staff and themselves. Evan's rivers of tears poured onto Fredbear's springlock suit, which caused the springlocks to interact with water and moisture, causing Fredbear to spring into its usual position, which intended Fredbear's mouth being shut. So Fredbear's mouth shut with Evan inside of it, causing Fredbear to break Evan's skull and cause fatal damage to his head. Fredbear essentially bit down onto him in the span of a second.
The bite of 83.
Blood dripped from the suit. William instantly heard about what happened and rushed to the diner. It was panic. A mad scramble to save Evan from death. The ambulance, police, anything you could think of, all rushed to the diner, and Evan was sent to hospital immediately. William had no time to blame Michael nor himself. They went to the hospital and watched as Evan was in a coma. Throughout Evan's coma, he had one repeating, seemingly endless nightmare. It was like the nights he had just been going through this past week. He started out his bed. He started out his bed and tried to survive being hunted by nightmarish animatronics. This was different. Every other usual animatronics was something he had never seen before, something he feared the most, and something he was changed by forever. It was a nightmarish version of Fredbear.
Hey, yo.
After a long day of waiting, William brings in the Fredbear plush he used to monitor Evan, and after resting the plush next to him, William is given the news that Evan will be dead shortly. William holds Evan's hands, the same way the Fredbear plush was in his other. Within Evan's coma, the clock rung 6 a.m. He shut his eyes and reopened them to see the plush Fredbear, who was like his closest friend, and the 4 plush animatronics behind it. In the real world, Michael said his goodbyes first. Can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me. I'm sorry. Michael left William to be alone with Evan. William said his final words to Evan, saying, "You're broken. We are still your friends. Do you still believe that? I'm still here. I will put you back together." And William cried while holding Evan and the Fredbear plush.
Oh.
He watched the Fredbear plush disappear.
It's a really sick and sad story. Yeah, it seems like it.
Before shutting his eyes. William got up and walked out of the room, hearing the sound of Evan's own heartbeat flatline. Fredbear's family diner closes instantly. The police still suspect William for the missing children's incident, which causes Henry to consider cutting ties with William while continuing the Fazbear brand. William has lost 2 of his children to his own creations, causing his wife to become emotionally unstable, leaving him. And with all of this, William begins his descent into madness.
Well, yeah, I would think so. Up until this point, he was just trying to be a family man with a really good business. This was the reason why he went into madness, was because he lost 2 of his kids, his wife left him, and his business partner left him. That would make anybody go insane. Either insane or super depressed.
Is yet to come.
Yeah, he was just trying to live his life, and then it all fell apart. Exactly. Everybody's like, he's crazy from the beginning. No, he was a family man in the beginning. Up until this point to where he was like, everyone's out to get me. My whole family's leaving me, or they're dying. My business partner doesn't want to be my business partner anymore.
getting out alive, getting out alive.
What is all this?
Despite the name, hurricanes are not the leading cause of death of the children of Hurricane Utah. This small remote city surrounded by mountains has an ongoing mystery with a twisted, dark story that's continuing to be unraveled. What really happened at Fredbear's? Where did all those...
Wait! Is the Five Nights at Freddy's based on a true story? This whole time, I thought it was just based off the video game. I thought it was just really good story of the video game. But is it based off of a true story? It's based off of based on a semi-true story. What? This whole time, I thought it was just based off of a very good, detailed game. What? So you mean to tell me something like this actually happened? That this is not just some fake... So, wait, you said semi-true. What makes it semi-true? Were there actually 5 kids who went missing? Is that the part that's true? Okay, so supposedly there was a Chuck E. Cheese where some murders... What? Oh my god. Okay, I didn't know all this.
Really go. Most importantly...
Okay, back up.
What really happened at Fredbear's? Where did all those children really go?
The fact that the kids went missing is not true. Okay.
Most importantly, what's next for Fazbear's Entertainment? Henry Emily thought for days, weeks, months. How can the business possibly come back from this? How can he fix all those issues and bring people in again? There were so many problems with the previous location. To name a few, the Springbok suits failed massively, killing William's child and being an extremely dangerous idea to begin with.
Well, yeah.
Those animatronics from Fredbear's need more time, as now Henry could be completely taking over their construction. William Afton is still a major suspect of the missing children's incident. Henry would not be so quick to work with them again, so he'll have to solo it. The fact that the incident even happened in the first place was bad enough. They needed more security. Henry thought and came up with one easy, seemingly simple solution. Remove the problems that distort the Fredbear name. Instead of doing it solo, Henry needed to take Fazbear Entertainment to the next level in business by creating a team. A team of hard-working managers, night shift workers, chefs, accountants, executives, and so much more. He would be able to fund this team with the profits made off of Fredbear's family diner. This new team had their first meeting and discussed what to do with the animatronics. And together, they eventually decided to move the previous animatronics, such as the work-in-progress bear, bunny, chicken, and fox, into parts and services. A new room in the new location. The company began working on new toy animatronics, which they decided would be classic-looking animatronics, which weren't Springbok suits, but a normal suit with an endoskeleton inside, with fully functional fingers, wedge-shaped feet, eyelashes, and facial appearances reminiscent of a ventriloquist doll. They also wanted to include some new, unique, different animatronics, which they eventually created. A smaller, childlike animatronic, which the children could relate to. Unlike the animatronics, this is more human-looking. This animatronic held a sign in one hand, saying exactly what was being held in the other. This animatronic was called Balloon Boy. Now only 2 problems remain: William and security, which Henry vowed to solve on his own, as in his mind, only he could do it right. Upon thinking over several days while his company worked on this new location, which would be a juniors to Fredbear's, he knew William could not be attached to the company anymore. Having a man thought to be the murderer of 5 children, co-owning the restaurant, no, even being in their team, would be the worst look for the children's entertainment company with their specific demographic. So, Henry would need to sort some sort of security, some sort of way to allow everyone in, but keep William out. After several nights of coming up with different ideas, he eventually settled on one: a facial recognition system. If a human's eyes met with the toy animatronics, with the right designing and coding, they would be able to tell whether you are William or not. There was no doubt this wouldn't work, so Henry began making and then putting his idea into motion. Henry wanted nothing more than the safety of his customers. He wouldn't want to lose all those kids and watch all their lives be
Chuck E. Cheese.
And unlike William, this brought a thought to his mind. He thought of his darling daughter Charlotte, or Charlie for short, and made sure that just in case the facial recognition failed, his daughter would be safe no matter. Henry loved showing Charlie his work and would love bringing her in the locations. But as soon as the missing children's incident occurred, he was always unsure of bringing her to the locations, or even just letting her anywhere near the creations. So, he created an animatronic that sat in a box, was held by strings like a marionette, and would specifically
The mimic!
look up to Charlie and protect her with security as its main priority. He called this animatronic the puppet.
Oh, the puppet.
Frustration, agony, instability. These emotions are what the psychotic monster that was William Afton himself felt. Elizabeth first, now Evan. His wife became unstable, but what about him? The night of Evan's death, William went back to the now closed Fredbear's. He looked coldly at the animatronic that had murdered his son. William was filled with rage and wanted nothing more than to see Fredbear fall, so he grabbed whatever he could and began demolishing Fredbear. Ever so slightly, with each hit, the life was being drained out of the Springlock suit's eyes until it was a pile of animatronic dump in the same state as the work-in-progress animatronics. Destroyed or not, the damage Fredbear caused had already been done. The damage Michael caused. William blamed Michael for taking it too far, for causing Evan to cry inside the suit's mouth, causing Fredbear to kill him. Hatred filled William's veins. Hatred towards Michael that went so far that William wished it were him who got killed by Fredbear. After the longest weeks of William's life, he heard news of a new location run by Fazbear's Entertainment opening, Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. Upon learning the news, his adrenaline spiked. William thought he paid for what he did to those kids with the loss of 2 of his own, so maybe now he would have some luck. This was his chance at a comeback, a possible distraction from
Yeah, but they're not gonna let you.
The pain and a glimpse into the light. William drove to this new location, Henry waiting his arrival at the front door. William got out of his car and headed towards his new opportunity.
Come on, you know he can't be here. Don't make this more difficult than it has to be.
William's excitement turned into shock, his stomach screaming thanks to what felt like a gunshot.
Henry, we're the co-owners of this franchise.
William says in confusion.
We're?
William mutters.
Are you kidding me? After everything.
You mean after everything you caused, which you're responsible for, including killing those innocent kids?
William opened his mouth to deny.
Don't even. We can all see the truth in between the lines, William.
Henry, I need this. After all that's happened to me, I've suffered long enough.
You're not the victim here, William. I started this shit from scratch, with my bare fucking hands. I'm not risking you tearing all that hard work down and hurting more innocent people.
William expresses to Henry that
Business will fail without me. I need to come back.
and without hesitation, Henry sends William away once more.
Please. Just please leave the premises, old friend.
And with a misleading grin on his face, William complies. He gets into his car and drives away slowly. Henry won the argument and stands with joy as he finally sees relief that he's gotten the final problem out of the way and can now begin to move forward. William raced dangerously down the streets, fueled with rage. He thought for the entire drive home what to do next, until suddenly he got that feeling he felt ages ago, that strange, unnerving urge to kill, and within seconds William thought of the perfect target. Charlotte Emily was the daughter of Henry, and who William now wanted to get rid of.
Oh no.
Everything you caused, which you're responsible for.
But now his daughter would die because of him. Frustration, agony, instability, all what Henry deserved to feel in William's mind. But unlike Fredbear's, this would be extremely difficult to kill anyone, as there's an entire new security system in place against William specifically, and to make it harder, specifically to protect his daughter, the puppet would be out of its box, keeping Charlie safe before William even got close to the door. William thought overnight, planning what he would do and how to avoid this issue with the puppet, which is when a realization popped into his head. The puppet is dependent on the box being open, so what if the box was closed shut, essentially trapping the puppet inside? William played the situation out in his head over and over. If Charlie leaves the pizzeria while the puppet is trapped inside, then who would be there to see him grabbing her and murdering her in cold blood? No one. This was when he crafted his plan, and the next day put it in motion.
Oh no.
One night, a group of bullies trapped the security puppet in its box, and coincidentally, Charlie was stuck outside Freddy's. Preparation met its opportunity as Charlie tried to run away to find a way to escape, until a car pulled besides the alley and a man got out of it. Charlie ran to William as she knew who he was after the many times Henry and William met with her there. Charlie grinned until William pulled something from behind his back. William
A knife.
Charlie in the alleyway outside of Freddy's. Her body lay numb in the rain. He thought to dispose of the body and get rid of any evidence, but it was hailing down with the rain. The fingerprints would be cleared off, so he felt no need. So he walks away and gets into his car, driving off happier than ever. The revenge was bittersweet. Now Henry would finally...
Hey, you're driving the wrong side of the road.
...and making his life even more of a hassle. The puppet knocked its box wide wide open and knew where Charlie had gotten to, its only mission being to protect her and bring her back inside. It went outside and tried to get to her, but kept breaking down due to the heavy rain. It found Charlie, and upon seeing its mission was a failure, it rested by her and wouldn't move. Henry couldn't
Damn.
find her. Neither could the police. This was all too familiar, another missing child. Henry went to look for the puppet, her protector, and found its box pushed wide open. He then went outside and found its body lying dead on the ground. It was damaged and there was something next to it, which Henry immediately knew who it was. Henry wasn't stupid. He knew it was William who did this. Nights after he was pushed away, Henry was enraged and began thinking whether the business should close or not, but no, he would be proving William right if he did that. So instead, Henry goes on a well-deserved break and lets his team continue working on the location in his absence. This was becoming interesting.
Damn.
How many more times could he kill and get away with it? He had his eyes set on Freddy's and decided to do a rerun of his biggest killing spree, causing another missing children's incident to occur. He knew all the old suits were being transferred into this new location, so he knew exactly how to enter without setting off the animatronics. The spring body suit. He found it in the parts and services room and put it on, and one night William roamed the building in the suit, killing another 5 kids.
Oh my god.
The puppet.
Yeah, it gets really twisted. Seems like it.
The puppet.
So that's Chica, Freddy, Foxy, and I'm guessing that's gonna be Bonnie.
The original children killed by William back in Fredbear's were back, now possessing the work-in-progress animatronic that they were originally stuffed in, their spirits being able to stay there as long as they
Bonnie?
did thanks to their corpses attaching to the endoskeleton. Evan himself, William's child, was given a second chance in Fredbear, which William had put his body into not long ago, trying to put him back together and make his body fuse with the animatronics. Now, with the help of the reanimated animatronics, the puppet gives the recently killed children a second chance, but this time within the toy animatronics and Balloon Boy.
The heck?
This was unheard of. Animatronics coming to life, fusing dead children's souls into the suits. How did this even work? Many questions would be asked, and they would most likely be experimented on and given to the government or something huge like that. But the thing is, no one even knew. The animatronics acted how they did originally, but now their goals were to simply find their killer and finish him off for good. Each night they would see if the night shift worker was William and would continuously travel to their office to see so. The company dismissed this as
Okay. So the fact that they always keep haunting the security guard and the basis around the movie is, or the games, is because they're trying to kill William Afton, and they're seeing if it's William Afton. Okay. Be right back. That's fine.
The company dismissed this as abnormal and claimed to understand.
You're only the second guard to work at that location. The first guy finished his week but complained about conditions. We switched him over to the day shift. So hey, look at you, right? Mainly he expressed concern that certain characters seemed to move around at night and even attempted to get into his office. Now, from what we know, that should be impossible. That restaurant should be the safest place on Earth. So while our engineers don't really have an explanation for this, the working theory is that the robots were never given a proper night mode. So when it gets quiet, they think they're in the wrong room. So then they go try to find where the people are, and in this case, that's your office.
During all of this, the bullies that helped trip the puppet kept screwing with the animatronics in the pizzeria. This time it was Mangle. They ripped its original suit to pieces until it was a connected pile of scraps. The animatronic was dismantled daily by these kids, and the staff eventually stopped repairing it. The animatronics were getting angry, causing them to behave differently towards adults and staff members. But one day, Mangle became more unstable when it was once again dismantled and bit down on one of the kids and caused the loss of the frontal lobe of the victim's brain. All of the toy animatronics were scrapped due to apparent malfunctions, more specifically this bite from Mangle. In the same time, the second missing children's incident had also begun to come into light, and eventually the building was put into lockdown for now to avoid it.
Being here, there is a game called Trove. It's fun. Huh? Alright, Bean. I'll check it out.
Casualties.
From what I understand, the building is on lockdown. No one is allowed in or out, you know. We're going to try to contact the original restaurant owner.
Hello? Hello?
Something like that. It was closed for years, though. I doubt we'll be able to track anybody down.
On this day, they tracked Henry down, and he went back to work, but not for the good reasons Henry hoped he'd come back for. Fazbear Entertainment held a meeting with the entire team, and they eventually decided to shut the location down and work on a smaller location with no security system animatronics. Just simple singing and dancing animatronics like Fredbear and Spring.
How many times are they gonna try to push this push this through? That's what I want to know.
For weeks on end, Henry worked and repaired the work-in-progress suits and brought them to life. Freddy Fazbear would be the main driver of the restaurant, with Bonnie the Bunny, Chica the Chicken, and Foxy the Pirate Fox tagging along. William's wife was surprised to see him. William instantly raises the point that he hates Michael and he wants her to take him, or else he will throw him out to the streets. They argue. He doesn't want to be in his son's life. For a bad reason, being a bad dad, or a good reason, protecting him as everything near William falls, is unclear. After what felt like an hour, William decides he's done with the argument and storms off to sit in his car goalless. William's wife, now sick of hearing what he has to say, begins to shout and scream that he... Blood came from her stomach, and she watches William stare as she falls to the ground, passing out, never to awaken again. He drags her body to the car and puts her inside of it, slamming...
Hey, that's a nice car.
Shut.
What? This dude got twisted, bro. Killing his wife was the reason his kids died, and hates his last kid? What? This dude's twisted.
Drags her body to the car and puts her inside.
Hey, that is a nice car, though.
Of it, slamming the boot shut. William begins work with Circus Baby sitting across from him. William made Baby to lure, capture, and kill kids, and unfortunately Elizabeth fell to his own creation, but with nothing else to lose. Why stop at one freak show? During the late hours of the night, William created his next two animatronics, Funtime Freddy and Funtime Foxy, both with different ways of luring children and killing them. Both animatronics had a white and purple color code. Funtime Freddy looked like Toy Freddy, but had a speaker on its chest below its black bow tie. Funtime Freddy holds a Bonnie plushie figure.
Not the ad sinister squid boy.
Would call Bon Bon in his right hand. Funtime Foxy looked exactly like put together Mangle, with a large tail and, much like Freddy, a speaker on its chest. William also made a third animatronic that night, Ballora, a ballerina that would spin and sing. William based this animatronic not on luring nor capturing, but on containing and storing his wife, which is who the animatronic was based off in the first place. Between animatronic builds, William made smaller animatronics like Bon Bon for fun, such as Bitty Babs and Mini Arenas. With these main four animatronics with their own AI systems, William opened a new location, but not one that could be seen so easily with an outsider's view. An underground location where outsiders or customers could rent out and have the animatronics at their birthday parties as a special delivery of a surprise. This new location would go on to be called Circus Baby's Entertainment and Records. After the long few years since Evan's death in 1983, William sat in his office he used to monitor Evan in and looked at his child's empty bedroom, eventually turning the monitors off to see his reflection. The reflection of a broken man descending further down his rabbit hole of madness. But instead of looking away out of shame, he grins of demoralization.
Welcome back.
Almost a year after Fazbear Entertainment closed Freddy's, the company opened up a new location to the public, Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, but new. The rivalry between William and Henry continues with William's location's grand opening. Michael is
How many times are they gonna try to open up a place and it falls through?
This, unknowingly to William, the animatronics are now possessed. Worst of all, some containing his own family, such as Circus Baby, Fredbear, and Ballora. The animatronics are angry, hungry for blood, trying to find their killer and out for nothing but cold-hearted revenge.
Jeez.
William sneaks into Freddy's and begins walking towards the animatronics. William starts to head towards what has become of his creations with only one goal in his unstable mind.
So he destroys his animatronics.
The souls of the children were freed from their eternal cage. William knew something was wrong with the robots from the start. He knew the children were still in there. Now free of their prison, the children were angry, staring at the one who took their lives away prematurely. They headed towards William in anger, and he ran to something that would hopefully scare the vengeful spirits away. William laughed and sat in the spring bunny suit as the spirits stared at him, remembering their final day.
What? Are you scared of the funny bunny?
William queried the spirits, who all looked up to the roof. The room they were in was unfinished and only meant for some employees, mainly just Henry, and the room was also off any cameras so no one could see what was happening inside of them. The whole area was built poorly and there wasn't much inside of it, but thanks to the heat of the room, the frozen condensation dripped from the roof slowly, maybe a drop of water per 2 seconds. This wouldn't be a problem if William didn't forget the basic rules of a spring-lock suit. Spring-locks and water can't coexist. The spring-lock suit malfunctioned and sprung into its usual position, and William fell within his creation with blood piling all around him. He pleaded the spirits for help, begging for his life to be spared, but the spirits went away, out of William's sight. On this day, Henry stepped into the building.
So he's dead now.
He ran to see what happened, only to see William inside the spring bunny suit, blood covering it whole.
William? Please?
Upon hearing he was there, Henry thought he would die thanks to blood loss, so he walked out the room with that thought and slammed it shut. He considered that maybe karma had finally come for William.
Please!
Kind of. That's Springtrap.
Entrance to the safe rooms until
Springtrap Bonnie
to get inside or even know the room was there. But unfortunately, the damage done to the animatronic was too much for Henry to fix quickly, and not just putting them back together will help. People were complaining about the foul smells coming from the animatronics as their suits haven't been fully opened for years. William meddling with their suits caused a lot of bad press for the franchise. William dying, the animatronics broken, everyone he knew being dead. If it wasn't too much for Henry before, it's too much now. It began to overwhelm Henry and he was struggling to keep this franchise alive. So, in the year of 1993, Henry shut Freddy's for the final time.
Thank God.
Ever open another location in the franchise. But there was one thing Henry couldn't forget and push aside so easily. His daughter. He had this feeling that his daughter was somehow inside the puppet. He had no idea how or why she would be, but he feels Charlie inside of it, and it's the only one that he couldn't find when destroying the toy animatronics. At the time, he thought maybe someone stole it, which, since he was going to destroy it anyways...
My perfect reenaction of stealing.
Maybe Charlie pushed the puppet away, or something like that. He didn't know. He sounded insane, even to himself. But he wouldn't let the chance slip past, so he created a new animatronic he'd called Lefty, which stood for Lure, Encapsulate, Fuse, Transport, and Extract. That looked like a black version of Toy Freddy, but was created for a completely different purpose. Capturing and finding the puppet and possibly destroying it to free Charlie's soul. William going missing wasn't too much of a surprise to Michael, as his father always goes missing throughout the night or during the day. But as time passed and the weeks went by, Michael began to realize his father's absence was getting progressively longer and longer. He goes to Henry to ask if he knows where William has gone to, which Henry denies and tells Michael to look at the other locations his father works at. So, Michael traveled to the only other location opened at the time that his father owns, Circus Babies, Entertainment and Rentals. Going down the elevator, Michael thinks of everything that's happened. He blamed himself daily for the loss of his younger brother Evan, never forgiving himself no matter what his mother said to him during the nights of tears and breakdowns. Obviously, he knew Elizabeth had died, but he was never once told how or He couldn't ask his mother after the divorce and William's advice to stay away from her. He knew William knew how Elizabeth died, but he never mentioned that to him, nor asked William how it happened. But maybe now, after his father's disappearance, Michael can find him and finally ask what happened to her and get some sort of closure. The doors of the elevator opened suddenly, and Michael went towards the primary control module. This is when he realized something. Michael lost enough already. He would do anything to find his father, even if it meant he was mistaken for a late-night technician. Hiding under a desk, hiding from animatronics, hunting in the dark, and fixing broken animatronics, with some much-needed advice of course, was an insane thing to do. Michael was about to give up on this location on the third night, until...
Oh, hell
Michael
no.
was afraid inside the scooping room. He was stuck inside a springlock suit, the same type he watched his brother get brutally murdered inside of. He almost fainted until he was given the reminder not to activate the spring locks. Circus Baby goes on to tell Michael what the room really is about, a machine called the Scooper. But before Baby can begin explaining, 2 technicians went inside the room.
Bring her over. Forward. 1 more. Okay, stop. Set it down. Watch the step. What happened to it this time? Just seems like these things can't go a day without breaking down. Who knows? It's always the same then. Some kind of hardware malfunction. Well, I have to be somewhere in 15 minutes. This place gives me the creeps. We just get this over with. It's all right. Not me. Just get her on the rollers and we can go.
The loud sounds of something coming towards Michael was all he could hear. He eventually saw what it was. It was Ballora. Baby explains that.
There's something very important that I've learned how to do over time. How to pretend. Ballora never learns. But I do. They think there is something wrong on the inside.
Ballora gets opened up by the Scooper hitting her. Each hit, Michael became more and more hopeless for his own survival, but he also felt something. As if he felt the pain of the animatronic. As if he was watching someone he knew being killed directly in front of him. Eventually, the animatronic's torture stopped, and Baby explained that she'd opened the faceplate so they could find him on the cameras. Michael no longer heard Baby's voice and waited for quite a while until he was found and rescued from the suit. Michael knew Baby kept him there because she wanted him to see the animatronic be destroyed. But why? That's all.
Wait, what? I'm so lost already. So, Baby obviously is freaking Baby is scary as crap. Bro, I think, isn't Baby like trying to help Michael because it's Elizabeth? That's what I was thinking it was. Baby's trying to help Michael because it's Elizabeth. Elizabeth is controlling Baby now. The ballerina chick is Mom, Afton's wife. But then ballerina gets scooped, which I don't even know what the scoop really does. It opens it, I guess. Freeing the soul, maybe? I don't know. And then Michael is in the spring trap, but doesn't die. I guess because nothing really made it, like, enclose. Burn them all with a flamethrower. Also, hi. What's up, Dave? The scoop removes their soul from the animatronic. Okay, so they remove the soul from the animatronic. So now they're trying to remove Mom's soul from ballerina. Kind of like ripping them apart. Got it. But Michael doesn't die because nothing got wet and messing up the animatronic thing. And so then... Oh my god, this is a whole twisted story, bro. Okay. I kind of get it, but is it... What I don't understand is Baby trying to help Michael, or is Baby trying to get Michael killed? I told you, yeah. I don't get it. What's up, Dave? I'm so lost. I'm trying to understand the lore, so that way when I eventually play the games, then, you know, I'll have a better sense of it. And also, I know there's a movie coming out. Okay.
Michael knew Baby kept him there because she wanted him to see the animatronic be destroyed. But why? That's all he thought about on the way home. And knowing William isn't down there, he didn't plan to return the next day. Michael sat and watched his favorite show, The Immortal.
It's been a while, but I think that Baby is helping Mike, but I'm not sure anymore. It's been too long. Got it.
Restless, which he would usually watch every single night after coming home. Besides, last night.
Clara, I tell you, I paid my taxes, Clara.
So why are the IRS here? I've come to take the child.
Michael thought about how out of all the animatronics he come across, only two stood out. Baby and Ballora, who were the only two who didn't seem to have pre-recorded voice lines at all, unlike Funtime Freddy's birthday lines. Michael knew he was onto something, so he called his mother for the first time in ages. She didn't pick up.
Hi, I'm sorry I couldn't pick up your call today.
Let me in the house. Please, let me in the house. It's me, William.
Anyways, call me back tomorrow maybe, and I'll hopefully be able to...
FNAF lore is as bad as Zelda's in my mind. Oh my god, I haven't even tried Zelda's. Don't get me into another lore. This one's already confusing the hell out of me.
Wait, what? Why was William there visiting her? Why did he feel a connection to Ballora, who reminded him of his mother, who used to sing countless bedtime lullabies, and a similar connection to Baby, who reminded him of his sister, who never shut up, but always wanted Michael to know anything and everything. Michael thought and thought more and more until the realization hit, and he prepared to return underground the next day. Today, Michael would have to fix Circus Baby. He entered the primary control module only to see the two technicians hanging. This was horrific to Michael, but after seeing his brother die in front of his eyes, it wasn't the worst. He's told by Baby to destroy her body by sending it to the scooping room and is then instructed to go and find and enter the room himself. He enters the room and sees all the Funtime animatronics destroyed.
Warning, you've entered a highly dangerous area. You have
Sure.
entered from Maintenance Hatch 1B, reserved for cleaning and repair of the scooper. Entering this side of the room is strictly prohibited by unauthorized personnel.
And a new animatronic, Anard, appear. Anard was formed by all the Funtime animatronics who destroyed themselves and mixed together to make one amalgamation. They formed into one because they were trying to escape and get out of the underground, and their plan was better explained here with their speech.
You are in the scooping room now. Funtime Foxy has already been here today. Funtime Freddy has already been here today.
Hold on. Well, Zelda's isn't bad. You just gotta remember that the last one goes before the first one, and the third one is after the 15th. 15th? Huh? I feel like Zelda and this lore is a lot like the Fast and Furious movies, where 1 is not 2, but 2 is before 3, and 3 is after 1, and yeah, it's all confusing.
Ballora has already been here today. Circus Baby has already been here today.
Oh, it's right there.
I've been out before,
It's right there.
but they always put me back. They always put us back inside. There's nowhere for us to hide here. There is nowhere to go when we look like this. But if we looked like you, then we could hide. If we looked like you, then we would have somewhere to go. The scooper only hurts for a moment.
Oh, nah. Oh, nah. So then Inward, who is... Let me get this right. Bonnie... It's the new Bonnie, the new bear... New Fazbear, Freddy. Circus Baby and Ballet Chick all put together. Am I right? Is that right? Did I get that part right? So then Inward, which is all four of those put together. Yep, he got scooped like an ice cream. Ballora, that's right. Yes. Okay, so the four of those all died and combined their souls and their parts to make Inward. So then Inward wants to leave to, I guess, be free, but can't by the way he looks. So they scooped Michael, killing Michael, and now they're gonna take Michael, skin Michael.
The animatronic put itself inside of Michael's corpse. This was how they would escape, looking like a human would work. So they went ahead and left the building.
That
They
was
saw
cool.
sunlight for the first time in ages and began
Yes, they want to skin him and take his body. Got it.
walking around the
Okay,
neighborhood.
I got that.
Dead wasn't a good thing. If
I hate commercials.
Game. You're not ready.
by chance of Circus Baby, who he now realized must be his sister Elizabeth, trying to save him by chanting, "You won't die."
You won't die.
You won't die. You won't die. You won't die. You won't die. You won't die. You won't die. You won't die. You won't die.
He didn't die. His body rose up, and no matter what it took, Michael was ready to find William and finish him for good.
Hey, yo.
The body of Ennard had continued to roam under.
So now Michael wants to kill his own dad now too? Bro, this family is wicked. Okay.
Swords, waiting for a moment to escape without being seen, and therefore instantly destroyed. But there was a problem within Ennard. More so, a problem within the Funtime group. Baby was basically the leader of it all, being basically controlling and almost commanding their every move. The other animatronics, Ballora, Funtime Freddy, and Funtime Foxy, were annoyed of Baby's controlling manner and decided to kick her out. Baby couldn't do anything against a 1v3, so she was ejected out of Ennard immediately. But Baby
1v3 situation. Why did I get... LO. One fucked up family. Yeah, you're not lying. 1v3 situation. Will Baby live? No, she did not. Oh my lord.
down to death so that she'd put herself back together and become more than Ennard ever will be. After kicking Baby out, Ennard never fixed its wires to be in a clean manner, so they stayed
Also, hi Automod, I missed you.
and over time it collected small parts until it could remake a mask based off Funtime Freddy and create its own fingers, eventually becoming Molten Freddy. This left Circus Baby to go on a hunt to end up...
Wait, who became Molten Freddy? Excuse me?
Kicking Baby out, Ennard never fixed its wires to be in a clean manner, so they stayed sporadic. And over time it collected small parts until it could remake a mask based off Funtime
Wait,
Freddy.
what?
Eventually becoming Molten Freddy.
Molten Freddy.
Rebuilding herself to turn into Scrap Baby.
Hey, Scrap Baby.
Thinking about all that's happened. It's been 1 day, 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month. He had no idea. For all he knew, he could be in this room slowly rotting away for the rest of his life, and he would never be able to tell when a single day went by. He couldn't do anything about it but think isolated and alone in the now hidden safe room, feeling the pain of the spring locks and suffering on the inside and out. This section of his life would be the part of his existence where he suffered the most, trapped within his own creation that started it all, facing his own consequences and being stripped of what he'd taken himself. For once in his life, he would finally feel guilt and a large amount of regret in his dying heart. But this was a highly populated building, where, to his knowledge, people were still working at. Maybe he would see the light of day very, very soon.
So... he died in this one, obviously, and possessed this... What was this? Was this Freddy? Was that Freddy? Or was that Golden Freddy? I know Golden Freddy was one of them. So he dies in this costume and possesses it. And now he's stuck in there because he obviously can't do it. But why can't he just get up and... I don't know, whatever. Golden Freddy is the last one, I think. Gotcha. So then he... Okay, so then he... sitting in there hoping to see daylight again. Got it. 30 years! Damn!
Michael had
That's older than me!
for these 30 years, searching for his father to kill him and finish him for killing his mother and sister. Unknowingly, the speech Michael would give to the stars made come true sooner than he thought.
Father, it's me, Michael. I did it. I found it. It was right where you said it would be. They were all there. They didn't recognize me at first, but then they thought I was you. And I found her. I put her back together, just like you asked me to. She's free now. But something is wrong with me. I should be dead, but I'm not. I've been living in shadows. There is only one thing left for me to do now. I'm going to come find you. I'm going to come find you.
Who was that?
In the year 2023, a new location opens up based on the myths and legends of...
Again? They didn't learn in the first 5 times they opened up a restaurant?
Fazbear's Pizzeria and Fredbear's Family Diner, filled with items from the locations which gained the title of a horror attraction. This location was called Fazbear Frights. This would be a location that would have gone completely...
I think at this point, if I was just your average bystander civilian and I saw anything that had to deal with Fazbears, I wouldn't go. Simple as that. I wouldn't go. I wouldn't take my friends. I wouldn't take my family. I wouldn't take my dog. I wouldn't take anything. I just wouldn't go. I just say, nah, that's one we're gonna miss.
Fine. But while looking for old artifacts in the abandoned location...
Why does that look like a Chuck E. Cheese's? That's so weird.
Phone Dude comes across 2 things.
Hey man, okay, I have some awesome news for you. First of all, we found some vintage audio training cassettes. Dude, these are like prehistoric. I think they were like training tapes for like other employees or something like that. So I thought we could like have them playing like over the speakers as people walk through the attraction.
Why?
That makes us feel legit, man. But I have an even better surprise for you. You're not gonna believe this. We found one. A real one. Gotta go, man. Well, look, it's in there somewhere. I'm sure you'll see it. Okay, I'll leave you with some of this great audio that I found. Talk to you later,
Soon
man.
enough, they would unleash a horror locked away 30 years ago.
William Afton.
Michael hears the news of a new location opening up called Fazbear's Frights, a horror attraction based off the events of Fredbear's and Freddy's. He hears that they found a real animatronic suit that still works and would use it as the main attraction for the location. Michael knew this wasn't a torn down animatronic, no. He felt the same connection to it that he felt with Ballora and Baby. This was his father William, so he travelled to Fazbear's with a match in hand, ready to end this spring and both accompany William down once and for all.
You deserve this.
Come here, you little...
Come here, you little. Why was that so funny?
Firefighters from 3 different city departments have been called out to combat the
There were strange noises coming from inside the building.
Michael escapes the fire while William meets his final demise. Spirits rejoiced after seeing William burning, and they decide to go to the old and long abandoned Freddy's location where they were once killed 40 years ago.
Why?
They sit on the empty seats as the puppet comes to see them happy, seeing that her goal was truly complete. The spirits inhabiting Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy were ready to rest while Golden Freddy struggled to be pleased. But one of the 2 spirits inside of it became happy and decided to rest with the others. They then finished their birthday party, which was prematurely cut short so long ago. During this moment, the spirits of Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy, and one of the spirits inside Golden Freddy...
Alright, see you later, Mir.
...and finally set free of their eternal cages. The puppet and the final spirit inside Golden Freddy were all that remained out of the 6 of them. The puppet wanted to make sure all that William had caused was undone, and Golden Freddy remained vengeful, unwilling to leave so early. They wanted to make sure William was done for good and that the fire burnt him whole. William was burning in the same capsule he'd been trapped in for 30 years, struggling to survive with the metal of the suit being destroyed. The more and more William kept burning, the more he kept losing from his body, the sooner death approached. He lost more of his right ear. His head started to rip open more and more, exposing his skull. But he saw a simple flaw in Michael's plan. In order for Michael to escape the burning building, he would need to be near an exit, obviously. But since Michael had a brief encounter with William right before it all went down, William would have had to be near Michael upon the flames erupting. Meaning when Michael ran to the exit close by, William wasn't far from it either. This very same exit William's eyes are now set on. William could escape and finally be free once more.
Hey, yo.
Henry had sat in sorrow for so many years, contemplating everything. Not only to fill out countless amounts of paperwork, not only living with the thought that William could have possibly survived the room, not only with the grief of his family dying, but with the knowledge of something weird happening with the robots, the knowledge that something else is in them.
These animatronics, they're alive, but how? How did William do it? How did he get my daughter inside that thing?
This one fact kept Henry awake at night. Of course he had destroyed the toy animatronics. Sure, the original animatronics had all been destroyed too, sure. But what about William's own creations, which Henry was very much aware of? What about Michael? Where was he? What about his own daughter too? There were too many loose ends, more specifically loose animatronics, that Henry needed to be solved and finished for good. Henry thought all of these years about this, making tapes as he went on to describe his thoughts. Eventually, an idea struck his mind. He grabbed his recorder and hit record.
It's only now that I understand the depth of the depravity of this creature, this monster that I unwillingly helped to create. As if what he had already done wasn't enough. He found a new way to desecrate, to humiliate, to destroy. As if the suffering wasn't enough. The loss of innocence, the loss of everything to so many people. Small souls trapped in prisons of my making, now set to new purpose, and used in ways I never thought imaginable. He lured them all back to a familiar place, back with familiar tricks. He brought them all together. Are they still aware? I hope not. It keeps me awake at night. I could make myself sleep, but not yet. Not until I undo what he has done and heal this wound. A wound first inflicted on me, but then one that I let bleed out to cause all of this. He set some kind of trap. I don't know what it was, but he led them there, again. He overpowered them, again. And he robbed them of the only thing that they had, again. I don't know how those tiny breaths of life came to inhabit those machines, but they will never find rest now, not like this. I have to call them all back, all of them, together in one place.
Henry knew that he couldn't do this all by himself.
What the heck?
He set up advertisements for someone to play the role of a pizzeria manager, so they could help him salvage the animatronics lord, as well as raise money to make their own jobs easier for them, as Henry decided instead of creating the entire pizzeria on his own, he would let the employer do it, purchasing items themselves and making the pizzeria truly their own. With these ideas,
Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Place
opens up, a new location created by one of the founding members of Fazbear's Entertainment, Henry.
Freddy Fazbear's Pizza?
Michael saw this going around everywhere. He knew that after all these years, Henry would have to know what happened in between William's disappearance and Michael reuniting with him. What turned him into that monster? He must know. Michael headed towards the location to not only get answers, but to make sure there were no more animatronics with spirits attached to them. Circus Baby and Molten Freddy were lured to the pizzeria by an energy they didn't know, but a familiar one. It felt as if they were right back as Circus Baby's entertainment and rentals. Deep down they felt that this energy was calling to them, and that this was their only hope of escape, as this was the only thing all of them had felt since the argument. So both Baby and Molten Freddy headed towards the location to find out who had called them back after all of this time. William, much like Michael, like father, like son, saw the news of this location spreading. He saw Henry's name next to the Fazbear's Entertainment logo and instantly rage spiked, thinking of the past. William wanted to kill Henry and end him for good, while also wanting to kill Michael, who after the events at Fazbear Frights, he knew would go to this new location to know what's going on. So finally, William also headed towards the location. Throughout his nights, Michael met with many familiar faces. Molten Freddy, who reminded him of Funtime Freddy from many years ago, remembering it was a combined version of Funtime Foxy as well as his mother, Ballora. He then saw Scrap Baby, who he knew exactly who it was, his younger sister Elizabeth, although they didn't exchange any words as he knew the cameras were on and watching his every move. He also encountered an unfamiliar face, Lefty, who he personally had no connection to, but finally he saw Scrap Trap. His father had survived the fire. Seeing all of them still somehow alive was something straight out of his nightmares. He had to think of a plan. During his shifts, the tutorial kept reminding him about Saturday.
There's a big party here Saturday. Make it through Saturday. Don't forget Saturday. You want them all to be in one place.
Something had been planned for Saturday. Michael knew something was going on. Why were all the leftover animatronics here? The only other person working here was Henry, so knowing him personally, he realized Henry must already have a plan. A plan to end it all. A big party on Saturday. Saturday came along quick, and Michael was once again fending himself from the animatronics like he did down underground many years ago.
You'll be set free in one try.
The voice of his mother called out, wanting to end Michael's suffering and let him rest while she cannot. This is when Scrap Trap enters. Pissed off at Michael's existence, and with every bit of anger in him, he went to kill Michael until Lefty helped Michael and turned against Scrap Trap. William vs. Charlotte. Michael ran away, crawling through the vents trying to escape when
Connection terminated. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Elizabeth, if you still even remember that name, but I'm afraid you've been misinformed.
Henry's voice came from the monitor as he readied himself to set the entire place ablaze, with every last thing connected to Fazbear's ready to fade away from history forever. Henry speaks to everyone who remains.
What the fuck is this for? Birthday boy?
Finally, time to rest.
Henry's plan was working. Like he had claimed, he was close by and would die in the flames like the rest of them.
Get off of me.
William saw Michael and tried to get through the vents to him.
Michael, don't trap me in here. I'm gonna fucking kill you, you hear? I'll fucking kill you.
Michael sees his younger sister and his younger brother, welcoming him to rest with open arms.
Michael! Michael!
He looked to his father once more. William, now knowing his son would die no matter what he did himself, William didn't say anything more. His look was enough.
It's done.
Michael steps closer to the bright light, the final thing he'd see.
I'm sorry.
The first sorry William's ever muttered in his entire life.
Jeez. That's crazy.
Restless, vengeful, and now ready. The only spirit who remains, the only spirit who's been unwilling to rest. Golden Freddy, aka Evan Afton. William is burning up and his soul is definitely not going anywhere good. But Evan had other plans for William. Not down, not up. He can go somewhere else. Evan was unfairly taken away. He was bullshit. He was stripped from his life. He was basically just beginning. He was young. He was so young. And he got tortured by his father. Tortured by William. Unable to sleep. It was horrible. His father gave him the worst life possible. Evan was fine with Michael though. He knew he didn't mean anything to happen with him. He saw the amount of pain and agony he went through to try and help Elizabeth survive and to find his own father. Evan saw Michael try and finish William off after figuring out what he had done. Evan knew Michael was in the right. William deserves this. William deserves purgatory. William deserves this. Haunted by his creations, haunted by everything in the Afton family's past, William defends himself against what seems like 50 animatronics. He dies over and over and over again, never getting a break. Evan watches from afar, watching all his father's creations eat him, tear him in half, break his bones, and so much more. He still wasn't satisfied. This wasn't enough, so he brought a new animatronic, Dee Dee, in, who would not only scare him, but give him more to fight against. More ways to kill him, more horrors to face. Evan watched him for days.
What the heck?
How long has it been? Not even he knew. Evan wasn't even sure if he was satisfied. Was he? Wasn't he? He didn't know. It was so long he'd been watching William die and die and die. He thought maybe it wasn't enough, so he decided to add more animatronics to William's purgatory, until, while within the void, Evan fell.
Come and sit with me a while.
Old man consequences told Evan. Evan didn't know who or what this was.
Leave the demon to his demons. Rest your own soul. There is nothing else.
There was nothing else for Evan, so after almost 50 years, Evan finally rests. Everything that came before is over.
Dang. That's crazy. Jeez. That's nuts. So now it's just replaying everything. That's crazy. That's a lot. Good artwork on this person, though. I don't know if this was what really... I don't know if these story skits were what really happened in the game. But if not, this is really good. He's talented. That's cool. That's awesome.
In the aftermath of the events of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Place and everything that came before, Fazbear Entertainment was at a standstill, with little to nothing being done with the business since then. There were always people working in the background. With the loss of the two founders, they didn't know where to go next, nor what to do. There was a giant lack of profit. They were making no income. So, a member of Fazbear's went rogue and had a plan to make money by creating a video game series based on the true events, rumors, and some myths that have occurred throughout these 50 or so years.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Caught the corrupted business's eyes, they knew exactly what to do next.
The potential here is huge, and what's really going to be interesting is the things people use it for.
Fazbear Entertainment saw this game series start to gain popularity. They found out who had been making these games and went to them to make an offer. Eventually, the rogue indie developer was brought into the business, and together they started to think of an idea to cover up all the horrors that have previously occurred, and all the abandoned locations left to rot, all the schemes, myths, rumors, everything that has supposedly come from within this franchise. Fazbear Entertainment took the opportunity of these games and began to work on their own game with this developer, but under the official company name. This would be a game which would make fun of these myths in previous locations, a virtual reality game to make the players feel like they're in the action themselves. The game they would call Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted. The company had big plans, big ideas, one of which being a big location. They knew they couldn't stick to games. That's not their brand, nor what the company is truly about. They make locations and attractions, so they would have to make a new location after all these years. But
jeez.
What would it look like? They had none of the previous animatronics working anymore, so who would even be the stars of the show this time? They thought and thought, and eventually the idea struck them. Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Place was the most recent location which burned to the ground, making it the most recent scandal. So they realized they had to cover it up soon before the public looked into it too much. So they knew exactly where they would put their new location. More so, how they would cover up their most recent...
We also talk about how Freddy's went through everything. They went through pizza making, robot animatronics, birthdays, and now video games. They went through every form of like entertainment.
Knew exactly where they would put their new location. More so, how they would cover up their most recent. But they would need money, lots of it. They planned to make a giant mall over the pizza place. It wouldn't be so cheap. So they needed a new source of income while creating this VR game. In the previous locations, merchandise was a big thing for the brand, selling character masks and toys such as plushies. This is when they decided to make a rerun of all their previous merchandise, this time making a delivery service for the merchant gifts, party supplies, and more. They would finally have a new source of income while they worked on the new VR video game, where the profits would hopefully skyrocket through the roof. But who would be the team making this game? Vanessa, a 23-year-old female with blonde hair and green eyes, was a part of the development team for this game. She has high anxiety and used calming protocols while working for the business. Her father, named Bill, and her mother had a custody battle in court, with her father not playing so fairly, making her mother look bad by scaring Vanessa into lying and manipulating her into saying things that weren't true, which in turn made her mother lose the court case and lose custody of her. She was hired by Fazbear Entertainment to help work on this virtual reality game, and throughout making the game she befriended another co-worker named Jeremy, who was the main beta tester for it. One day, someone at Fazbear Entertainment found old unused code from the old animatronics and directed the team to scan the code to help speed up the process of making the game and practically take a shortcut. They didn't think anything bad could possibly come from doing this, so they went ahead and tried implementing the real code into their game. While playtesting the game, a figure starts to appear to Jeremy. He had no idea what it was, but he called it the anomaly. He speaks out about this and tells the rest of the team what it was, but the only thing the team thought of it was that it was a bug, a glitch, and it was their sole objective to solve how to fix it. When Jeremy began to talk about how it was talking to him, no one ended up believing him. Surely it was just a glitch. Fazbear Entertainment knew he was up to something suspicious. They knew he saw something. But they don't care, they just want the game out as soon as possible, so they started to prepare to fire Jeremy from the business. Jeremy kept going, kept claiming he was having nightmares, hallucinations, hearing voices, all to do with this anomaly. But no one listened, no one believed him, so he took matters into his own hands. One morning, Vanessa went to work early and saw Jeremy standing in the supply room on his own, and afterwards all she was able to see was a Halloween mask on the floor with ink sprayed everywhere, and Jeremy with his shirt also covered in ink. But she couldn't see his face because of the VR headset, but unknowingly to her, that wasn't ink, that wasn't a Halloween mask.
It was blood.
Jeremy had cut his face off with a guillotine paper slicer. He committed suicide to prevent the anomaly from taking over his mind and getting out. An employee saw Jeremy's dead body and reported it to the higher-ups. Vanessa, hearing this news, goes to talk to the higher-ups about what happened to him, but instead she overhears a conversation between her manager Dale and someone else on a phone call. She learns that Fazbear Entertainment is stressing over a possible lawsuit. A suicide within the company, on the job, is not good in any way, shape, or form. But she learned something else from that conversation. It turns out the rogue indie game developer was actually employed by Fazbear Entertainment to make those ridiculous games. It was all just one giant cover-up, and the VR game would fully cover it up, going as far as covering up the cover-up. Vanessa knocks and walks in. She's told she needs to finish Jeremy's previous work for him and become the playtester. Scared of what this company could do to her, she agrees. She begins playtesting the game exactly where Jeremy left off, but this being where he left off means that's where the anomaly appears. She finally sees it and knows Jeremy was right all along.
I saw it for the first time today. There was a character I couldn't make out who it was, standing at the end of the hall. I thought it was just bugged out, so I made a note of it and kept playing. But then it was looking in the window, and not like Chica or Bonnie would. It was like it was actually looking in the window, seeing what I was doing.
As she's making logs on her whole experience, the anomaly, or glitch trap, seems to attach itself to her logs within the files. She can't delete it now, because where she was hiding these tapes was a safe, unremovable area. So thanks to glitch trap attaching to the tapes, he was basically given a safe hideout in a protected area to stay in effect. Vanessa knew what to do and broke the logs into pieces, telling anyone who finds these to never reassemble them again. But it was too late. The logs were already assembled.
That's so weird.
Glitch trap Vanessa's mind. He didn't take over her body, but now he's in her head, pushing her to do things she would never do. Glitch trap is out, and every time Glitch trap tells her what to do and where to go, she ends up making a full rabbit suit in the real world by herself, thinking that William would like it. She'd like to imagine the name is Fanny, much how William named his suit Bonnie. She becomes more and more of a reluctant follower of Glitch trap, and begins to plan how she can bring him back, but into his own body. That's the goal, and that's what Glitch trap desires. After a long time of gaining revenue from both their delivery services from merch and their VR game launch, Freddy Fazbear's Mega Pizzaplex opens. Throughout the week, majority of the workers for things such as cleaning and dusting got replaced by robots. The new animatronic band included Freddy Fazbear, Glamrock Chica, Montgomery Gator, and Roxanne Wolf. Oh, and I guess finally a Bonnie variation, but he didn't really last long as one.
I've heard this is the worst game that they made.
To Montego, only for some reason to be taken out and destroyed by Montgomery Gator, which after seeing the damage, Fazbear Entertainment think maybe Monty can replace Bonnie, becoming the new bass player for the crew. Vanessa shows high interest in being a security guard for the location, and someone from the top recommends her, which in turn gets her hired. Within this new location, she begins researching about Remnant and how to bring Glitchtrap truly back, possibly using some of the Pizzaplex's technology. Throughout their opening week, Vanessa murders kids trying to extract Remnant, causing more missing children's cases. And throughout this entire ordeal, Vanessa has been going to see her therapist.
Hang on, I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. Alright, I'm back, sorry.
The therapist finds out Vanessa has been talking to someone online in an encrypted conversation. Vanessa's getting manipulative messages from the same thing, and Vanessa is seen over and over again in the Pizzaplex by the IT department, being caught on camera multiple times, sometimes even with the Venny mask. She's searching up weird things during company time, such as fake fur material to make the Venny suit, and more. Vanessa herself learns that Glitchtrap has been hacking into her personal files about her life, which the therapist uses for her. This therapist is beginning to get closer to the truth about what's going on until she's suddenly replaced by another therapist, and then another therapist, then another, and another, every time they get close.
I hate to do this right off the bat, but I've been directed to ask you about this. Apparently, I'm the 4th therapist you've had. And apparently, all 3 of your former therapists have gone missing. Or 2 of them are missing. I don't want to scare you, but I have to tell you that one of them was found dead. That doesn't seem to upset you. Well, then I guess I'll go ahead and tell you that the woman's body was pretty messed up. It looked like it was mangled by machinery. That doesn't bother you either? It's all pretty strange, I think, on the circumstances. Apparently the police don't have any evidence.
Glitchtrap through Vanny is killing the therapist whenever they get close to finding out the truth. Glitchtrap is slowly taking more and more control over her, and when the 4th and final therapist gets too close, exposing her for lying about her family's history, as apparently she had a good childhood and good parents, she lied about the court cases and the custody battle and all in the above. She tells Vanessa when she's not able to answer.
Why don't we come back to this in You're shaking your head as though that's not going to happen.
And Vanny kills the therapist and hears the voice in her head ask,
"Are you ready?"
Hey, yo.
Introducing the new stars of the show. Freddy starts to glitch out. Something is trying to infect him. He begins to glitch out worrying Chica. He then falls and Chica rushes to him, but it's too late.
Whoa. Wow.
Freddy gets restarted in safe mode and... Wait, there's someone inside of him.
Shh! Will you shut up?
Who said that?
I did. And down here.
Down where? I still do not see you.
Okay, listen. You were sleeping, so I opened the stomach hatch and climbed inside.
My stomach hatch? That place is reserved for oversized birthday cakes and piñatas. It is not a safe play area.
Gregory snuck into the location and then tried to sneak into Freddy after he fell during the performance. But now he's about to be locked into the Pizzaplex if he doesn't get out in time. So he follows Freddy's instructions until eventually he makes it out to the front lobby, where the doors shut right in front of him. Gregory is now trapped inside the Pizzaplex.
No! Wait, I'm still here! Now what am I supposed to do?
Exploring and surviving daycare.
Well, okay then.
Fighting against animatronics on all levels of the mall, even underground, destroying Monty.
Yeah, this one just looks dumb.
Gregory clicking a button, causing the bucket to spill, hitting Montgomery Gator and pushing him all the way down. Roxy. Gregory drives a car all the way down the Roxy Raceway, eventually being spotted by Roxy herself. Gregory jumps from the vehicle, and the vehicle slams straight into Roxy.
This just looks like this one's dumb.
And Chica smells the food that Gregory planted. Gregory clicks a button for the compactor to destroy Chica, but it gets stuck on something. So Gregory makes a run for it and pushes Chica over, knocking the pole out the way, slamming the compactor shut.
Okay then.
Chica's still alive and grabs Gregory's leg. He kicks her in the face and the compactor destroys her hull.
Boom!
Fixing Freddy to become the best in the mall and running from giants.
Whoa, what is that thing?
While Vanny is trying to find him and finish him off for causing so much trouble in one night, Gregory and Freddy work as a team and survive all these difficult challenges together. The time struck 6 a.m. and Gregory headed towards the door.
Freddy, it's open, let's go!
No, I cannot exit this facility.
Of course you can! Come on, we can hide you somewhere.
So in this one, Freddy's is good? So, okay, let me get this correct. In all of these other locations, Freddy is a bad person who is out to kill little children. And now in this one, he's trying to help this little child escape and he's a good person? We're supposed to suddenly believe that? I don't know.
Without a recharge station, my systems would shut down within an hour. It is a safety precaution. It is my design. This is where I must stay. Do not return. It will never be safe. I will miss you.
Freddy, if I leave now, nothing will change, will it? There will be more disappearances.
Yes, I am afraid that is correct. Gregory, you have a choice to make. The door is open, and you can go. Or you can continue to investigate the secrets of the pizza place.
What is Vanny?
I feel there is something else going on besides Vanny.
Gregory and Freddy stay to explore the secrets of the pizzaplex and find an elevator leading underground.
Be careful. This elevator does not appear to follow any safety protocols. I do not think it can survive more than one trip.
The elevator leads them all the way down to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Place.
I know what this is. I have been here before. She brought me here. I found myself for the first time when I cleared the path. I did not want to, but I had no choice. Now I have a choice. I have changed. My friends are here. They are so angry, confused. But I can protect you. I am not me.
Gregory begins to believe someone may be possessing Freddy. By Falling even lower within the pizza place, they land in the same room Henry sat in while saying his final words many years ago. But charged by the futuristic technology of the charging stations, Vanny was able to almost reconstruct Scraptrap's body and transfer the technology of the charging stations. Vanny was able to almost reconstruct Scraptrap's body and transfer William's data from Glitchtrap into it, like it did with the arcades upstairs, also using remnant from the murdered kids. William Afton is truly in purgatory, but the glitched AI of him is free. William is back. The company were throwing all the old haunted animatronics down here as they knew they'd be covering it all up with them all. Over time, a big amalgamation had been building itself up slowly, knowing that Vanny was bringing William back. But Vanny nor Glitchtrap realized that the amalgamation wasn't even down there with them. Freddy started to be taken over by Glitchtrap through the monitors in the building, trying to do what he failed to do during that performance earlier, trying to recreate what he did with the arcades and how he got into his current body. Gregory clicks a button to release fire into his room, distracting William from taking control, and Gregory fights off all the animatronics on his own. The amalgamation witnesses all that's happening, and after seeing William free, when Gregory hits the fire once more, he goes towards William and grabs him by the throat. Gregory
What the hell?
And escape the burning building. They sit down and finally relax on a hill after a long night. The same hill the graves of the unfortunate kids who disappeared so many years ago rest. Gregory, and for once in this entire story, Freddy, live happily ever after. That's the end of this horrific story. Thank you so much for watching this entire series. This is the end of it all.
That is so weird. There's still 4 minutes though. Why is there still 4 minutes?
Get another game.
Oh, it's just credits. Okay. That is so weird. Oh my god. I think I understood it, but I could be totally wrong.